There is an interesting conversation going on online. I haven't seen the original video and I have very little to say about it, but it's essentially, as a light skinned person, have you ever experienced discrimination because of your light skin? And I'm like, oh man, I think this might be a little bit nuanced for me because I've grown up in Portland and usually I'm the only or very few Black person in the room. And I fully recognize that there is privilege in being light skinned. And oftentimes, if you're a person of privilege, you don't know you have privilege. And the thing about colorism is I didn't necessarily understand colorism and light skinned being better till a lot later in life. I've always wanted to be darker skinned because what I experienced as a lighter skinned Black person is somebody always assuming that I wasn't Black or I wasn't Black enough, or that I was mixed race. And I didn't want to be, both my parents are Black. They're Black people. And so the assumption was that I didn't understand being Black, that I wasn't fully Black, that I wasn't Black. And so the discrimination or things that I experienced was, oh, actually, you don't understand, you're not Black. Or you're not really Black, you're mixed race. In fact, I went on a date a couple years ago and a guy who likely had a fetish no longer wanted to talk to me or wasn't interested because I wasn't actually mixed race. Because I presented as light skinned, and in the winter it's lighter. I'm a fully Black woman. I just happen to come out lighter skin. My sister is a darker skinned woman. My mom is dark skinned. My dad is kind of light skinned. But his family, if you were to look at my dad is a siblings of 8, and they are all different colors. They're dark and light. And my mom is a siblings of 4, and they're different shades. They're all kind of on the darker side, but I will say that my uncle and my other aunt are lighter skinned than my mom and my other uncle. So just, I wouldn't say I've experienced the same discrimination as my darker skinned brothers and sisters, but I want to tell you, they're my darker brothers and sisters, that I love you, and I've always wanted to be darker because growing up was there I was always mistaken for not being Black. You're mixed, you're Latino, you're Latina, you're mixed, you're indigenous, you're, I don't, I'm fine with being Latina. I'm fine with being indigenous. I love my brothers and sisters, but I'm Black. My dad is Black. My dad is blackity black black black. My mom is blackity black black black. We are Black people. Don't get it twisted. But also my parents. There's other privileges of 2-parent households. Pacific Northwest, we speak differently. There's a little bit of properness, which my Texas family has made fun of, which only brings forth the mixed race. You're not really Black, light skinned allegations. So I think that my darker skinned brothers and sisters have probably endured just real foolishness and disgustingness. And but there, I heard there was a woman who's talking about she was called, I don't want to even say it, like African booty scratcher in school. I was called that in school because there were hardly any black people at school. So like my experiences being one of few, and so I don't even know I don't even know if colorism was a thing if there's only couple of us in the room. Um, so I just think the conversation is nuanced. I think it's a great conversation to have. I'd love to have it in person with a room full of wonderful, beautiful black people. And I think women's conversation is a lot different than men's conversation. Um, but I subscribe to darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I definitely subscribe to that. In fact, all the guys that I have liked in my life have been dark skinned men. I love it. I personally think that that is the most attractive people. So that's just on a personal level. And so I'm really just hurt that they have that colorism is a thing. To me, it actually makes no sense because it's obvious that the skin that absorbs light and is like almost like silk is the most beautiful skin that the Lord has blessed the earth with. That's all I got to say about that. Let me check and see what I got to doop. But I think colorism for a person who's grown up in the Pacific Northwest as a light skinned person, for me, as a light skinned person who's grown up in the Pacific Northwest, is, I think, a really nuanced one. Yeah. Because I was oblivious to the colorism conversation for a long time. Um, but also mistaken for not being black because I was light skinned. Not realizing that that was colorism. Because I can be naive. But